What are we gonna do with all of this milk? Hey, this is Angie with Mystic Mountain Homestead, and today we're coming to you with a good problem. So, we have a new goat who kidded, and she now has milk, and it's her first time to have a baby, and we are getting 2 quarts of milk a day, which I think is really good for a first-time freshener, especially as young as she is. And so now then we have the problem of what are we going to do with all this milk? So we're thinking about ice cream, yogurt, cheese, but tonight I'm going to do a fun dish that's really super easy, takes a little while, but it is so worth it. It's called cajeta. And what cajeta is Mexican caramel made of goat milk. So stay tuned and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so what you're gonna need is a quarter, by the way, I'm making kind of a small dose here. If you wanted it bigger, you could just double it. You need a quart of milk. You need a half a teaspoon of salt. Kosher salt is best. A half a teaspoon of baking soda. You'll need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, but traditionally you're going to use a vanilla bean, and I'll tell you about how to do that, but then, you know, I'm taking what I got and making it work. So here we go with vanilla extract. 1 cup of sugar and cinnamon. Once again, traditionally you would use 1 cinnamon stick, but I don't have one tonight, so we're going to just use ground cinnamon. So I'm going to start off by trying to dissolve some sugar in the milk. I'm going to do this prior to heating it up, and the reason why is because you want to be careful not to scorch it, so you don't want it cooking high too long. So we're just going to kind of dissolve it in there a little bit prior to turning it on. And this is just regular milk, goat milk. I should have probably actually shaken up my jar before I poured it in, but there we go. Let's put a little light on the situation. And you're just going to dissolve that milk in, what is this? Sugar. Dissolve that sugar in. Then you're going to add some heat. Now when this actually starts cooking, it's going to cook pretty fast and heavy. So you don't want to turn it up too high to begin with. You want to kind of keep an eye on it. I'm going to put medium high. A lot of things I've read says put it all the way up on high until it starts boiling and then bring it down. And I don't know where my spoon dish is, so there you go. You're going to wait to put in your baking soda until one of the last things. I can go ahead. We're going to put in 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And like I said, if you're going to make this traditional, which is the way I would prefer to do it, just can't do it that way tonight, it would be 1 vanilla bean, and you put it in there and let it boil with the vanilla bean and scrape out all the little seed vanilla pieces that are inside. So that would be great. Traditionally also you would put 1 cinnamon stick in and let it boil in. I don't have a cinnamon stick tonight, so we're just going to add a little bit of ground cinnamon. I don't have a precise amount of cinnamon because I don't know how much a cinnamon stick is, so I just added a little bit of cinnamon. And you're going to continually stir this while you're waiting on it to boil. Oh my gosh, this smells so good already. You're going to put in a half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, and remember I said we're not going to put in our baking soda yet. There's a trick to the baking soda. So we're going to let this get to a big roll, a rolling boil, and that's going to take a few minutes. You know, you don't, like I said, you don't want to turn it up too high to begin with and it start boiling too fast. So you're just going to let it boil. Usually takes about 10 minutes, I guess. the whole time you want to make sure that it's not sticking on the bottom. So we can leave this alone a little while, and when it gets to the boil, I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I've been cooking it, and the whole time I'm stirring here because I don't want it to go scorched on the bottom, and you can see that it is boiling. So we're going to turn it off real quick and remove it from the heat. Okay, then we're going to take our half a teaspoon of baking powder, baking soda, baking soda. We're going to add this. Now, it's going to make it get frothy. Look there. Look, you see it? Getting frothy. Isn't that cool? It was like this chemical reaction. As soon as you put it in, it starts frothing up. It's really awesome. Okay, so we're going to stir this in. Okay, then we're going to bring our heat down some. We don't want to stir it. We don't want it to be that high. Like I said, we're keeping it from scorching. And then we're just going to continually watch this. You know, you could watch a little bit of TV or something, I guess, but you don't want to get too far. You do not want to get too far because it will start to caramelize. And when it starts to caramelize, it'll be, you know, sticky, and it'll stick to the pan, and then it'll squelch, and then you'll have burnt caramel instead of yummy caramel. So keep an eye on it. Don't walk too far away. I use a wooden spoon. That way you don't get any funny taste. In Mexico, they actually use a copper pan for this. And this is something I learned that's really kind of cool. That the copper pan actually helps give it the darker color of caramel. When you get a new copper pan, you should wash it, I think they said, with lemon or baking soda so that it won't make your candy too dark, because it'll make your candy like a black color if you don't prepare your copper pan correctly. A lot of candy makers use copper pans. Now, I've seen some people make cajeta, and they will use the new rubber spatulas, and that's okay. That won't leave a taste either. But, you know, traditionally it would be a wooden spoon in a copper pan. So, but you could use any type of heavy type pan. I've used this before and I've never had a problem. It's always yummy. So we're going to cut away at this point, and we're just going to keep it going for a little while. This is going to take an hour to an hour and a half to cook down. So I'm obviously not going to leave the film going for an hour and a half because I really talk a lot, but not that much. So we'll be right back. Okay, it's been about 26 minutes into the cooking, and I want to show you this gorgeous color that we have. Look here. Isn't that beautiful? So it's still very thin, as you can see. I'm continually stirring the bottom because we want to make sure that it does not burn on the bottom. But we've walked away, we've watched a little TV and talked, and then I come back every few minutes. Keep an eye on it. But look at that gorgeous color, and we'll be back in a little bit and show you some more. Okay, so we're about 45 minutes in. Come look. You can see around the corner how it's kind of thickening up, and you can see it's kind of sticking to the thing there. I use this so I can scrape it around. You don't want it to get stuck. You want to keep stirring, you know, like we talked about. But look, it's starting to get thicker. Can you see that? And you don't want it to get burnt to the sides. Just keep going, and we'll be back in a little while to check it again. We're going to want this to get as thick as like honey or maple syrup. So keep going. Okay, so it's been right about an hour and a half, and come on closer and we'll show you. See how it's thickened up quite a bit. And I think it's done. Look at the color. Isn't that beautiful? Rich caramel color. And this is going to be great. So I've decided that we can can this up and we're going to see how much is here. And my husband's like, I can't believe that's all it made. So we'll be making some more of this because this can be used in so many things. This can be used as an ice cream topper. This can be used, like caramel. It can be used in your coffee. A lot of Hispanic people or Latin people will like to use this on tortillas and then roll it up like a dessert. They also use this in these little bitty wafers, and then you put it on the wafer and then you put another wafer on top of it, and it's like a little candy. So for, what is it, a quart of milk makes that much. So not that much. So I guess that's going to be an easy way to use up a lot of the milk since it cooks down so much. And this will finish thickening up some on its own when it's cooling. If you're going to do something like make candy with it in the wafers, you probably want to go ahead and do it while it's warm. Otherwise, it'll start to, like I said, thicken up a little. So anyways, I hope you have fun with this easy recipe. If you've got too much goat milk like we do, and just take what you got and make it work.